It was raining when I met him. Not the kind of dramatic downpour you see in movies, but that soft, persistent April rain that soaks you through before you even notice. I had forgotten my umbrella, as usual, and was already regretting my decision to walk instead of taking the bus. My canvas tote was getting wet, my book was probably ruined, and my mood matched the sky. That's when I ducked into the coffee shop. I'd passed it 100 times but never gone inside. Too small, too quiet, too warm-looking, if that makes sense. The kind of place where people belong, and I rarely felt like I belonged anywhere. But that day, soaked and freezing, I walked in. And there he was. Sitting by the window, one hand wrapped around a chipped ceramic mug, the other holding a pen. He wasn't looking at his phone, wasn't typing on a laptop. He was writing, really writing, in a notebook that looked worn and personal. Something about that made me pause. I ordered tea with honey, mostly to warm my hands. The barista asked if I wanted to wait or sit, and without thinking, I pointed to the empty chair across from him. He looked up, surprised, then smiled. "Sure," he said. "It's better to share a table than stand awkwardly in the corner." His name was Daniel. He was reading a book of poetry I loved, Ocean Vuong, and that felt like fate. We started talking, slowly at first, and then without even noticing, we were deep in conversation about books, writing, cities we both hated and small places we loved. Rain blurred the world outside, turning everything gray and soft, and it was like we were in a separate time zone, just us and tea and stories. I didn't expect to see him again. People pass through your life like weather sometimes. But he came back the next day. So did I. That little coffee shop became ours. We never labeled it. Not at first. We just kept meeting, always in the same place, at the same table, under the same quiet light. He would write, I would sketch. Or we'd just talk. He had a way of listening that made you feel like every word mattered. I told him things I'd never said out loud, about how I used to be terrified of being alone, until I realized I already was. About how my last relationship made me feel invisible. About how I didn't know what I wanted from life, except that I wanted it to be real. He didn't try to fix me. He just saw me. And that changed everything. Spring turned into summer. We started walking home together after coffee. Then dinner. Then sometimes he'd stay. Or I would. We didn't talk about love, but it was in everything. In the way he made space for me on his bookshelf. In the way I bought 2 toothbrushes without realizing. In the way he memorized how I liked my eggs. It wasn't perfect. We fought sometimes, mostly about small things that hid bigger fears. I was scared of being too much. He was scared of not being enough. But somehow, we always came back to that little coffee shop, to that table by the window, where it had all begun. Then, in early autumn, he told me he got a job offer. Abroad. A city he'd always dreamed of, doing work that mattered. He looked at me like he was waiting for permission. I smiled. My chest hurt, but I smiled. You have to go, I said. And you will be amazing. We didn't break up. Not really. We just kissed a little longer that night. Held each other a little tighter. And then he left. I still go to that coffee shop. Not every day. But enough. Enough to remember. Sometimes I write letters I never send. Sometimes I just sit there and listen to the rain on the windows. And sometimes I swear I can still feel him there, across the table, smiling at me like I'm made of light. Maybe one day, we'll find our way back. Or maybe, some people are meant to enter your life just long enough to change you. And that, in its own way, is also love.